You're listening to The High Upside Show, a podcast that allows people like you and me to invest our money in a more entertaining way. My name is Keenan Rivals. I'm a photographer by the day, but I make most of my money by flipping cards. In this show, I'll be sitting down with you and sharing my best practices. You'll learn my process, the lessons I've learned, and more importantly, who you should be buying. What's up, guys, and welcome back to The High Upside Show. It's your boy Keenan Rivals, and welcome back to the third iteration of me recording this podcast. I've been struggling to get this out because the market keeps changing. I recorded one about a set you guys should buy, and then that set blew up. Like, it just went parabolic to where people probably couldn't afford it, so I scratched that podcast. I recorded another podcast kind of giving my statements on the current state of the hobby, and that was actually a really good episode. I still probably will put it out, but it might be delayed because now the state of the hobby has changed. I'm sure most of you got the news around 9:30 p.m. just like I did, that the NBA season has been postponed or suspended, potentially canceled. That was the news we got last night. We woke up to more news seeing that Donovan Mitchell, alongside of Rudy Gobert, also has coronavirus, and we've just seen the NHL season become suspended. The Big East tournament, Major League Soccer. People are really taking this seriously and just, putting health first, which I think is awesome. Just want to put that out there. Like, they're not worried about money. They're not worried about, their, own interest, but just like the overall care of their players and their fans. And maybe that's a long-term, money play. We got to make sure these guys are healthy. We got to make sure people are playing to their potential. We got to make sure that the image of the NBA or the Major League Soccer or whatever isn't tarnished. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how fast it happened. Alongside like the NBA and different things, canceling, we've seen, the stock market crash. If you're into cryptocurrency, you've seen Bitcoin crash. And a lot of you are probably wondering, is the sports car market going to crash? And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Obviously, I'm no guru. I'm no fortune teller or anything of that nature, but I do have my opinions, and I'll just be upfront with you. I do think that we're going to see a slight decline in terms of cards and prices. In fact, it's already happened. I've seen 2 Luka PSA 10s go for $1,000 today. I've seen a Luka PSA 10 Optic go for $350 when they were going for, $1,200 and $450 respectively. We've kind of seen that decline. People are going to be more in a rush to sell, and that's what happens when you have a high produced amount of cards. People are already in profit. They're trying to unload. You get 20, 30 cards being sold at a time. And that's obviously just going to drive prices down. If I have 10 cards, I'm trying to move them at 375, and then you have 5 cards and you're trying to go at 350, but then a guy who has 1 card goes to 325, that ultimately drives the price of the sports card market down. And yeah, it's just going to happen in every market. The only thing that's going to go up in price is tissue and water and household things. And, those things are already really expensive right now. So if you're wondering, is that going to happen? Then yeah, it's already happening. In terms of your investments long term, I think we're all going to be fine. Once this is kind of figured out, once everything's back to health and back to standard, I think we'll kind of see a bigger resurgence in the sports car market. Everybody trying to buy back in. The reverse is going to happen. You had those guys who are selling, trying to, lower the price point. You're going to have those guys who are trying to buy the lows, but one guy's going to buy at 350, one guy's going to buy at 360. And then that's going to see like a slow price increase. But, who knows when that's going to happen. A lot of us were planning to hold our cards into the playoffs. So, me personally, I wouldn't 100% panic sell. I mean, there could be a case of you selling your card and getting back in at a lower price point. That might be a good play for you. But I wouldn't be like liquidating all my cards. If I had rare cards, courtside silver, those wouldn't be cards that I'd be selling right now. But I wouldn't be opposed to like listing some Prism cards or some PSA 9 cards or some cards that I'm not that attached to. So if you have any of those, it may not be a bad idea to sell them, but I guess it depends at those price points. But overall, I wanted to just make a quick podcast, kind of a PSA, like, hey, don't panic sell. If you're new to this, if you're just in this space, this is just some of the things that happen when you're investing. And this is just when you have to be smart. This is when you really, tap into your resources. Do you need the money? Do you need money? Do you have to sell right now? Are you really afraid that the market's going to crash? And are you afraid that the market won't rebound? If the answer to those things are no, then put your cards in a box, lock them up, keep them safe, and wait till you get some good news. If you're somebody who overextended themselves, if you're somebody who bought cards on their credit card, or you're somebody who like used your rent money hoping you'll get a quick flip, then yeah, probably best to sell, take the money while you can get it, and learn a lesson. You know, a lot of this is going to teach us lessons. This stuff isn't forever, and we're going to have dips and we're going to have bounces, and that's just part of the game. With that being said, over the next month or so, depending on how this plays out, I think this will be a good opportunity to kind of go in and grab some cards. You know, it'll be a good opportunity to get some of those higher end cards you probably couldn't have got. You know, let's say you got 5 Prisms of Luka right now. Maybe you sell those for, you know, $1,700, and then you take that $1,700 and you grab something that's a little more rare, that has a little less, you know, population or circulation, but still has some really good liquidity, like a silver or a hollow, depending on, you know, your investment strategy. Maybe you know, double that money up and you go into some more blue chip type cards. You know, maybe you can get a LeBron James card, that PSA 10 tops that you wanted that was going for $2,000. Maybe you sell the Lukas and you get it for $1,500. You know, there's a couple of different plays here, a couple of different things that I'm looking at. I'll be definitely updating you guys on my investment strategy via the High Upside Show newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for that, then definitely do so. If you sign up for the premium service, then, you know, you kind of get like my investment strategy in real time. So if I move into some blue chip people, or if I liquidate some prospects, or if I'm doubling down on a guy, then I'll be able to kind of inform you guys there. I'll leave the link to that in the description. But yeah, overall, guys, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's not like we didn't know about this. Like, it wasn't a potential chance. You know, I've thought about moving some cards over the last couple of days. I've moved some cards over the last week that I just wasn't that attached to. You know, they had some potential to make some money, but maybe I just didn't love them and I thought they were a quick flip. So yeah, I think there's still a lot of opportunity out there. Hopefully this doesn't put like a bad taste on the market. I mean, we have to understand that this is happening across almost every market. You know, traditional markets, sports cards, shoes, a lot of things are going to slow down. Everyone's going to feel these effects, and I'm just hoping that they can kind of figure it out. I think I saw an article or a tweet where China was kind of inviting their players to come back and play basketball. So it didn't last too long over there, but I also don't know how long, you know, it lasted in China. You know, I know how long the Twitter sphere kind of got a hold of it, but it could have been a 6-month thing there that was just very under wraps and, you know, kind of exploded within the last 2 months. But yeah, hopefully we figure it out. It's crazy that some of the NBA players got it. It's crazy how some of us are reacting to it. We're acting like this disease is just like it's like almost like it's their fault. Like, ew, Donovan Mitchell has coronavirus, or ew, Rudy Gobert has it. And it's just not that deep, I don't think. I think that, you know, as long as you can figure out that you got it, you know, you get the proper, you know, health and direction, then it can be something that can be, you know, cleared easily. And yeah, I just think it was a great move by the NBA to kind of say, hey, no, this isn't a good play for us. Let's kind of shut it down. We're crushing it right now. We're a global sport. Let's keep that going. And, you know, I really didn't want to watch basketball with no fans. So I think this was the best option. And I'm just crossing my fingers that it gets handled, you know, quickly. You know, I know basketball cards are like not a major concern to the majority of the world, but people like us who put our money into it, you know, we are concerned. So it's just like, man, this was the height of the NBA season. This is probably one of the best NBA seasons that I've ever seen. The cards market was going crazy, you know, within all sports. And it just sucks to see that momentum be slowed down by something that's out of our control. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. So just wanted to make this episode to kind of keep you guys updated. I know a lot of you guys are reaching out to me asking what my thoughts were. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the market's going to be affected. I don't think it's going to be a, you know, major drop. There won't be any falling knives, if you know what that reference means. I don't think cards are going to go down to $1. The beautiful thing about these cards is that they're collector's items. They're not just, you know, investments or commodities. So there's still going to be people who are interested in these cards who won't see effects of this virus, and who are looking to load up on their personal collection. So it's always good that, unlike traditional markets, cards have a secondary layer of value. You know, it's somebody who wants to own them because they're shiny, you know, much like gold. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you holding? You know, what are you doing? I'm really interested. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. If you guys got any questions, if you're kind of concerned, definitely reach out to me. You can hit me on Instagram. You can find me on the newsletter, Twitter, at the High Upside Show. And yeah, again, don't panic. And at the very least, maybe Gary Vee is shouted out. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? Maybe he'll let everybody know it's a buying opportunity, and things might work out. But at the end of the day, I mean, the hobby's not going to die. You know, that's kind of what I wanted to say here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the podcast next week. Happy investing.